Hello, Jessica. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Oh, I'm as good as I could be living in the States
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
Well, I want to say I thank you for taking the time to speak with me. This was such a fun film at times to watch. It's a little hard hitting. What
yeah.
attracted you to this project? For me, it would have been Charlie Hunnam, but for you, I'm sure there's more
I
professional
mean,
reasons.
it was Charlie as well. I really wanted to work with Jack and Charlie. Obviously, the three of us are English actors. We come from the same part of England, but um, they, the three of us work a lot more in America now. But um, I just really, really wanted to work with them. I really looked up to them for a long time. Um, they're obviously both really successful actors, and everybody wants to work with them. I really wanted to work with Max Winkler, the director. I had
Mhm.
auditioned for him before for his movie Flower, and I just really felt like he had this energy where, for me, I always want to work with a director that is just going to turn up and be like, look, I'm going to try my best every single day. I'm not trying to make something that anybody else has made before. Really believe in themselves, believe in their work. And that's what I want to work with. And Max definitely had that. And also, I wanted to make a movie so desperately that my brothers could watch, and that they could learn something from, be entertained by it. Obviously, they're both brothers as well. And I knew that there was just so many things that they could learn and relate to in the script. And I make a lot of movies for, girls. I make a lot of movies for women. I play a lot of really strong female lead characters. And I really felt like if I'm going to do that and I'm going to put the work into that, then I want to do the flip side of it. I want to make something for guys to watch, which is educating them about their feelings and about masculinity. And it really meant a lot to me to, play that in a movie.
You really do add that feeling to it. There's a femininity to your character that offsets them, but you are also tough and one of the boys as well. Was that
Yeah.
chemistry like that on set as well? Their chemistry so good with you three in the film. What was it like on set? Was it as spicy and as explosive?
I mean, of course, like three extremely headstrong people from Northern England, of course, like there was so many. I've never worked with two people before. No one really sticks out that I've ever worked with where I was like, wow, that person was just a zero, like I've been really lucky. But with these two, I've never worked with actors where I was like, oh, wow, like this is somebody that I grew up with. Like, truly never experienced it in England, never really experienced it in America. But with these two, I was like, I went to school with guys like this. They are like, they represented my family, they represented people that I grew up with that I loved, parts that I didn't like. And, that chemistry was 100% real. This movie was so well cast because they cast three people. Yeah, we are not American, but we are definitely working class. And there was so many days when I laughed harder than I've ever laughed in my life. There's so many days where we did scenes that were just like so sad, and the emotion we could all relate to together. And there were days when I absolutely hated them. There were days when I was like, oh my God, these are the most annoying guys ever, because we just knew how to push each other's buttons. But what you get from that is the chemistry was real. Our relationships were not that dissimilar than what is in the movie. And it was an amazing experience to, work alongside of them personally, be around them, but also within the scenes.
And you can tell that it seems like this was a very personal film for you for other reasons, but also do you have any attachment? Have you ever had a road trip, not like this movie, but have you ever had a wild road trip in your history that you've drawn from? I think all of us have had even a long 4 hour trip that felt like going cross country.
I mean, I've had a lot of relationships that felt like a long 4 hour car journey. Like I've definitely experienced the thing of like being on some kind of journey with somebody, and then, there's like a chemistry that unfolds. And, there's a lot that I relate to in Sky, where obviously I left where I grew up to try and follow a dream. and some weeks are better than others. That's just what happens. And obviously I have a vision of what I want my life to be like, and there's definitely a part of me that is the same as Sky, where I'm like, oh, if I can like see the way that I want something to be, then I can go after it. So I mean, yeah, I've definitely had experiences in my life like this where I'm just like, yeah, sure, like I'll get in the car and go with you guys. And then I'm like, oh wow, like what have I let myself in for? So yeah, definitely.
Well, I think I will say I think Sky in Jungleland is going to be one of my favorite female characters of the year because you've added so many layers to it. It wasn't just
Well,
the
thank
the
you.
girl in the guy movie. It wasn't anything. You added so much to it. So I'm very happy to speak with you about this character I enjoyed. I have one more thing before we go. You are a big spokesperson for anxiety and dealing with craziness. I think that's
Yeah.
so admirable. We're in a pretty crazy day in the States today. What is your number one advice to get rid of stress? How would you send us off with a little note of, okay, keep calm because it's going to be crazy?
I'm in Los Angeles. I've lived here for a year. And I've obviously been thinking about it a lot because I'm not American, but I live here, and I'm like, oh, how am I supposed to feel? And the only thing that comes to mind is, and this is what I do with all of my anxieties about anything. I really think about other people. I think about other people's experiences. I completely take all of the emphasis away from myself because anxiety makes you a narcissist. It makes everything about yourself. Try and think about other people, what they're going through today, and what this day means to other people, because it means something completely different to everybody. And, so within that thought, what I'm thinking about is I have made all of my movies in America for the last 2 years. I've been to Ohio, I've been to Massachusetts, I've lived in California. And the main thing that I'm thinking about is, everybody that I've met, and that's a real mixed bag of like, for on this day, like Massachusetts, California, and Ohio,
Yeah.
that's like a smorgasbord of like of people in this country. Everybody was a good person. Everybody was so welcoming to the movies and to me that I was making. Everybody was a good person, which seems crazy when you think about this day. I would just say, just think about the fact that people are actually good. And I don't know what really happened with this country, but my experience is like people are really good people. I don't know what's going on, but I do think that if everybody just thinks about other people and that people are actually really good and they want the best for each other, then one day in a week or in a year or in 5 years, like things may actually be better because people are really good. Just take it away from yourself and think about other people.
Well, thank you so much for that. I will use that today as I keep checking Twitter way too much. So thank you so much for that.
It's okay. I hope that, you have like a peaceful day and, just try and have compassion for the people and whatever it is that they're going through. I don't know. Humans are complicated.
They are. Thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you as well.